Welcome back to Moose on the Loose, your source of uncorrupt media. My name's David. Today I got a bit of a mixed bag of things here. So in the House of Commons sessions a couple days ago, Justin Trudeau said something very interesting and it clicked in my brain and then it just kept on going, and I'm busy monitoring multiple screens here. I didn't really clue into what he said until later. I took a look at it. It's pretty unbelievable what he accidentally admitted in the heats of one of his rage fits. Before I show you Justin Trudeau's clip, I want to show you this clip first of Jonathan Wilkinson a little bit later in the session.
Mr. Speaker, after 8 years of this government, people don't have enough money. Food banks were struggling over the holidays. And now we see the Bloc Québécois fully supporting Liberal policy, and they want to further increase the infamous carbon tax.
This costly coalition shows some common decency and cancel the tax hike so Nova Scotians can feed themselves, keep a roof over their heads, and keep the heat on.
Here, here. The price on pollution is an affordability measure. The vast majority of Canadians receive more money through the carbon price than what they pay. Research from the University of Calgary shows that the Conservatives' plan to cut the carbon price will only benefit the richest 1% and hurt the other 99, while the Conservatives are fighting to give money to the rich and take money away from those who are most vulnerable. We are building a climate plan that addresses climate change in a manner that addresses...
So just note what he said there. He said the Conservatives want to basically give money to the rich, take away money from the poor. He says it again, just remember that.
And please ask all members to keep their comments to themselves. The Honourable Minister has 10 seconds on the clock.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I was saying, we have the reverse Robin Hoods over here who want to take money out of the pockets of the most vulnerable in Canada and give it to the wealthy in a manner that actually has nothing.
Reverse Robin Hood. This is coming from the government that's like stealing our money left, right, and center. Oh, God. Just hear that one more time.
We're saying we have the reverse Robin Hoods over here who want to take money out of the pockets of the most vulnerable.
Okay, now let's jump to Trudeau's clip.
Services, and we were there to clean up the mess, to cut taxes for the wealthiest 1%.
To cut taxes for the wealthiest 1%. Did you hear that? I'll play it again. To
cut taxes for the wealthiest 1%.
Unhappen and stop the crime.
In 2015, Stephen Harper presented a budget that had slashed funds for policing, slashed funds for CBSA officers, slashed funding for Veterans Affairs Services, and we were there to clean up the mess, to cut taxes for the wealthiest 1%, lower them for the middle class, to support families.
They all stand up. Yeah, they're like, yeah, you're making us rich, Trudeau. Everyone stand up and clap. Seals unite. Arr, 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 arr. Come on, monkeys. Can't believe I missed that the other day. It's just sometimes, you know, in his rants, he don't process everything immediately.
We were there to clean up the mess, to cut taxes for the wealthiest 1% of the middle class.
Oh, Trudeau, man. Freudian slip, buddy. Drama performance, obviously, he's got to get into the groove, and he let it slip. Oopsies. All right, so now for an update to the Danielle Smith situation. That's definitely heating up. If you didn't see my previous video or don't know what's going on, Danielle Smith just basically released a video talking about new regulations. There isn't legislation yet. There isn't any official anything yet. If you want to transition as a child, you have to wait until 18 to have any physical surgeries, top or bottom. 18 years or older, and if you want to start getting hormone therapy and all that, you need to be 16 and older. It's weird because the Liberals are now treating this like it's some sort of big crusade against the entire LGBTQ2S whatever plus community, but really that's just one thing that's a protective measure for the T out of all of that. Trans. It has nothing to do with lesbians or gay or anyone else. There's comments in my comment section of, you know, people saying I'm a trans woman, I'm a trans man. It's much better if they wait until they're 18 to go through such a surgery. Like this is the hill Trudeau's going to take. Yeah, he is his last hope, basically. But here's what he had to say on it. They asked him at this photo op, this is in Waterloo, he's starting another housing accelerator, 15,000 houses over a decade, whatever, $22 million. But they asked him specifically about Danielle Smith.
Good morning, Prime Minister. Rant with the Canadian Press. Will you invite Danielle Smith to meet while she's in Ottawa next week and directly raise your concerns about her gender policy proposals?
Canadian parents love their kids, and we want the very best for them, and we want them to be kept safe. LGBT youth across this country are among the most vulnerable to homelessness, to suicide, to a range of things that can harm them. We need to be there to defend them. We need to be there to protect them. And I know Canadians across the country are doing just that. It is telling that the week after welcoming far-right American conservative Tucker Carlson to her province to sit with him on stage, Danielle Smith has now moved forward with the most anti-LGBT policies of anywhere in the country.
How is this anti-lesbian, gay, or trans? It's not anti-anything. It's just adults should be protecting children. Children do not have the ability to make these decisions because they're not fully grown and developed yet. That's what this is about. You can't get your driver's license until you're 16. You can't buy a lottery ticket until you're 18. You can't drink until you're 18. But it's okay to have your body physically altered to a state you would never be able to return it to before 18? Tell me I'm wrong in my comment section. Anyways.
The federal government and all Canadians will be there to protect youth.
Just on a different topic, why haven't you...
Just on a different topic. Let's not talk about that one. He goes on to talk about the conflict stuff going in on the other side of the world. I don't cover that stuff on here because that stuff is not allowed to be on here. Next up, we got Poopy Pants Randy here. He had some choice words as well.
To all of the youth that listened to Premier Smith's video last night, and I can tell you I watched it and then I read the policy she's intending to put in place, and then I spent the night consoling people on the phone. I had people who offered to help, who are from the trans community and the queer community, and to a person they broke down on the phone crying and saying, please help us, what can we do, how can you help, how can we work together? This isn't a question about parental rights. This is about keeping kids safe. This is a unilateral ideological move by Danielle Smith and the UCP government to marginalize kids, to other them, and to out not just trans and gender non-binary kids, but all queer kids.
Excuse me, this whole move is to protect kids. There's no such thing as non-binary kids. You can't make up genders. It drives me bonkers, the whole gender thing. There isn't like 77 genders. There is not. Show me scientifically, show me biologically there's 77 genders. It's one thing if you're born with the brain, the soul of a woman in a man's body and you want to transfer over. That is I can only imagine a horrible situation to be in and to have to go through that. But the whole thing of gender fluid, gender this, gender, the Zeke, as I always say, that if you're not familiar with Z-E-K-E, Zeke, whatever, is one of these made up genders or pronouns or whatever. It's out of hand. And the problem is we have kids today who grow up and they're bullied, they're outcast. That was me. I was that kid. And if a kid like that wants to feel special, they might latch onto the idea of being like, oh yeah, I'm special. I'm non-binary. And then they suddenly identify as non-binary as a way to justify a reason that they're not in with the cool kids at school. So there are situations where there's people born of both genders in one, which I'm sure is a very difficult situation to go through. Or they're trans and they're born with the soul of a female, but they're in a male body and they want to transition. That's like, those people need support and they need to not be attacked and not be, any of that. But when you mix in all the voodoo, that's when people don't take it serious. The liberals are actually hurting their situation by mixing in the voodoo. Here is the voodoo. This is a list, 31 legally recognized genders by New York City. Now, I don't know if Canada has its own list, but we're just going to look at this. Bigendered, cross-dresser, drag king, drag queen. How is a drag king a gender? If you want to identify like someone who says, oh, I'm a hunter, I'm a fisherman, I'm a backpacker. You guys probably know it at this point. I'm a big time backpacker. That's not my gender. My gender is not backpacker, right? It's the same thing like femme queen, female to male, FTM, gender bender. What is a gender bender? Genderer queen, male to female, MTF. That would appear to be the same to me anyways. Non-op. I don't even know what hijra is. Pangender, transsexual, trans person, woman, man. It's funny how these are listed like halfway down the list. Butch. God, come on, man. Two-spirit. What is a two-spirit gender? Trans. Also, like, why are these not put at the top? Agender. Third sex. What is third sex? There's gender fluid, the one I always make fun of because I think that's ridiculous. Non-binary, transgender. Wow, that's confusing. So you transition and then you're also non-binary on top. Androgyne, gender gifted, gender blender, femme, person of transgender experience. Like, this is only the official ones. I've seen a list that's 88 long. You get the pronouns thrown on top there, like the Zeke, as I always say, Z-E-K-E. Like, it's just out of control. Like, the problem is when you allow kids to decide what their gender is, then they'll latch onto something to feel special, to feel unique, or to somehow explain why they're not popular, why they're, they feel the way they do. It's school, maybe they're not good at math or whatever, and it gets out of control. What stops me from identifying myself as David the Draco the Dragon? Draco now is my gender. I am the last one. I am the only Draco. No one else can be the David Draco gender. Like, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Give me a break. The Liberals have mixed in, they've really pushed LGBTQ2RS plus, whatever. All those acronyms, they've squished all of this nonsense with the real stuff: gay, lesbian, bi, and trans. Those are real things. This is make-believe. And it's just out of control. It's out of control. That's all I'm going to say on that. I've got gay friends. People are people. Everyone's life has worth. Everyone is valuable in this planet. You can choose to be a force for good, or you can choose to be a force for evil.
You're going to go to a school as a young queer kid or a gender questioning kid and now have to look over your shoulder to wonder which of your other students are going to out you so that they call your parents. Nobody calls you when you join the chess club. Nobody calls your parents when you join the basketball team. Nobody calls your parents when you join the debate team. But now, if somebody thinks you're questioning or queer, they're going to tell the teacher, and the teacher's got to call the parents. That is not the Alberta I want or that we want. And so...
What does that have to do with trans? You just talked about gay issues. Gay rights. What does that have to do with trans and transitioning and having surgery done to your body? Am I missing something here? If I'm completely off base, let me know. Is not even what's on the topic here.
I can say this to all the youth. We're here with you. We are going to look at every option that we have. And this is our NATO moment as an LGBTQ2 community. An attack on one of our communities is an attack on us all. And I need allies and champions to stand up. We already have the Social Worker Association of Alberta, the Alberta Teachers Association, the Canadian Civil Liberties Association, and a gal who's already mentioned that they will start a court challenge on board. There will be a rally at the legislature in Edmonton on Sunday. I will be there. And if there's ever been a time in this century for people to stand up for the kind of Canada and the kind of Alberta we want, it's today. Merci.
People are standing up. It's to this stupid Trudeau Liberal government. Should we invoke the Emergencies Act because you're going to have a peaceful protest? Is that what we should do? Take some notes from you guys? Scumbags. That's where we're going to leave this one. Be sure to subscribe, thumbs up, click the black button. For whatever reason, they made the red subscribe button that was there for 14 years being red, they made it black, which is not really a good color to click subscribe. And yeah, stay warm, stay fed. I'll see you guys on the next one.